Days of melancholy crisis reach their climax. In the gloom of a dull December afternoon, Mr. Baldwin leaves Downing Street to tell Parliament the fateful news of the King's decision. Ever since the newspapers, which had observed silence for months, first uncovered the soul-rending drama being fought out in the solitude of Fort Belvedere, the whole emotional life of the nation, indeed of the entire British race, has seemed to hang poised in suspense. The figure of a woman kneeling at the gates of the King's home typifies the Empire's distress. Peoples steeped in the traditions of monarchy, bound by the most affectionate memory of King George and by devoted attachment to Queen Mary, inspired by a sincere admiration of King Edward himself and his public service, found themselves stunned by a conflict of sentiment. Dumbly, our thoughts have scanned Downing Street, where an honourable councillor throughout the crisis, Mr. Baldwin, has driven to and fro in his efforts to avert the shock. They have turned to Marlborough House and gone out in sympathy to Queen Mary. They have sped to Piccadilly, where the Duke of York and his family have waited, shunning the publicity which has inevitably fallen on them. But most of all, our thoughts have dwelt at Fort Belvedere, with the tormented heart of the King himself. And of the outcome of that period of pathetic meditation, what can we say? To be placed in the position of having to choose between love and a throne is one of life's most tragic dilemmas, even if the dilemma is of the King's own making. That he has chosen the dictates of his heart will not diminish him in the esteem of those who have passed through their own human ordeals of similar stress. It is not perhaps fitting at the present time to extol the many qualifications of our new King and Queen for the great positions which have come to them, but in a period of great national emotion we greet the new reign with a prayer for the happiness and prosperity of their Majesties. Ever since their wedding in 1923, we have witnessed their progress in public regard, conscious that someday they might be summoned to the supreme responsibilities of the Crown. The Duke of York's particular interest we know to lie in the sphere of industrial problems, and his annual camp has been to him a cherished effort to bridge social distinctions by cheerful comradeship. It has fallen to him to represent his father on repeated occasions during King George's latter years, and he has been his brother's frequent companion during his short reign. No one can be more distressed than he at the regrettable circumstances which call him to take his brother's place. As his consort, he brings to the throne an ideal companion, who we may be certain will play her part nobly in the tradition of Britain's queens. Scottish-born, she has evinced a grace and a common touch which seem the heritage of Scotland, and whether presenting the cup at a football final, assisting at charitable enterprises, praising the adventurous among her sex, or conversing with the simple men and women who perform the world's routine work, her smile has charmed all hearts. Not only the dignity but the grace of monarchy will be enhanced by the new King and Queen, and we must not close without a reference to the two little girls who are their family, and who become by the swift